beginner session of Save Time with Polar Online. Take it away, Pam.
Okay, thank you. So what I want to first start off with is the helpful resources and help tools that are available to you as the travel agent. Where you want to go is to training. When you click on training over here on the right, you will see time-saving tips and princess sales secrets. In the time-saving tips, when you click on this, these are powerful, very short videos to help you learn how to do things such as apply an FCC to a payment or to know the difference between when to contact Polar Online Chat or OneSource Chat. If you continue to scroll down, in the bottom, there are flyers. These flyers are printable. These flyers are downloadable. So let's just look at one, booking Polar Online Booking Cheat Sheet. This is something you can download, have at your fingertips. So if you wanted to know where to get booking information, you can click on information such as here, how to send a booking confirmation, or you can come down here and where to make a credit card payment, how to get booking information, pricing summary, also how to add travel packages such like transfers or pre-night or post-night hotels. This is a really good flyer that you can download. Sorry. No, I don't want to end this session right now. There we go. So you can download that and have that at your fingertips. The other session I wanted to bring up, or section, excuse me, is the Princess Sales Secrets. The Princess Sales Secrets are created by our business development managers to help you increase your business, and it's our commitment to you to help you be better at selling Princess. So that we have all sorts of information like how to use a future credit list as a lead list. We also have down here how to book a group, dealing with group minimums. So this is something that I highly recommend that you take some time, spend, browse through. The other thing I do want to take a moment to go over is in sales and marketing, order brochures and more. On this here, when you get here, go to View Now. When you're in View Now, if you go over to Princess Brochures, you will see that we have two brochures available. We have the Princess Experience brochure that tells you and your guests all about the Princess experience, from medallion class to our ships, to our new ships that we're getting ready to launch, the Sun Princess. Also over here, we have the Alaska brochure. If you notice, this Alaska brochure says it's currently not available, but don't worry. If you click on the word Alaska or this picture, you can download a downloadable version of the brochure. When you download it, you can print certain sections. I highly recommend that you print the cruise tour brochure. That is from pages 42 to 45, and it does show, and it's hard to see on this background, I'm sorry. Anyway, it shows you a layout of all of our cruise tours, the dates, as well as the itinerary. And then from page 23 to 30, those pages give you an idea of the sailing, where it's from, the dates of the sailing, what ships are sailing it, and the entry price for an interior cabin. So highly encourage you to download that. We also have a calendar that you can download, you can print and order yourself. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for how to make a booking in Polar OneSource. So the first thing we want to do is make sure you know you can access making a booking from two locations. From Booking Tools, you can go over here to Manage Cruises, or you can go to Book and Manage Cruises. They're both going to get you where you want to go. My preference is click the green box, Book and Manage Cruises. When we get here, where you want to go is to create a booking. That's our first step. When we click on this, you will get two options to enter in your passenger member information. A lot of times we don't know whether a guest has sailed with us before or not unless we either know their Captain Circle number or we know their phone number. If we don't know, we can always come over here, type in the word add, and then we can come up here to new passenger and enter in our passenger's information. You'd start by a title, a first name, a middle name, and then our last name. You'd enter in the street number, name, state, zip code, email, phone number, and then click Save and Continue. At this point, they would appear up here. But because I didn't complete that, I have to go back one step further. Now, at this point, if you have a member number, you can enter it, hit search, and you'll find them. Or my preference is entering in their phone number. I'm going to enter in the phone number and I'll do a search. I now have my two cruisers that have popped up. I'm going to put them in position 1 and then in position 2. Instead of hitting the word go, that does not take us to loading the guests into the system. We have to hit select passenger. Go would be for customers who have sailed with Princess before, who maybe have a special offer. So we're going to hit select passengers because they've never sailed with us. And you can see them here, guest Captain Circle number, position 1 and position 2. The first means they've not sailed with us before, so this would be their first cruise with us. We're now going to go down to cruise search. And this is why I said printing out the information from that Alaska brochure is handy. If you're searching for a cruise tour search, they're going to ask you for a cruise tour number. The number can be found on those printouts or in the middle of the book. In fact, the book, when you open it up, okay, if I can do it. Nope, it's not working for me right now. But in the middle of the book, it'll say like MA6. M is the tour number. A means after the cruise, and the date or number of days is on there. So MA6. So that's what you would put for your cruise tour number. If you have any questions, you can always click on these orange circles and it tells you how to find a cruise tour. Group availability. If the policy on age, if you want to know what we will allow, it's right up here. So those are just useful informations how to do a search. I'm going to pick a home city of Dallas-Fort Worth. I don't have a voyage number, but I know my guests want to sail in June of 2024. I know that they want a balcony. I know that there's going to be 2 people. I know that they want to do Alaska, and I know they want to do a northbound or a southbound. So I can pick that. And I know they want to go for 7 nights. At this point, you can do a search by date or zone, by price, or by category. I prefer the category, and I'll show you why. At this point here, I've got a list of dates that are around the 1st of June. But if you notice down here, this is where my category, my berths, and my availability are. If you notice the W's, these are all waitlisted. If you see the G, that's guaranteed. What I would recommend is, again, when you're sitting with your guests, you're talking with your guests, look for something that has availability in what they'd like. Just so I go over it really quick, our coding is the first character in the 3-character string is the type of category. S is suites, M is mini suites, D's and B's are balconies, O's are ocean view, and I are interior. Your second character tells you sort of about the cabin. If it's a 1, 2, 3, those are like mini suite reserve collection. They're the top. They tell you like if it's a suite, if it's a 7, that is going to be a window suite. If it's a 0, it is the sky suite. If it's a 1, it's going to be a president's suite. If it's an A, so if you notice like right here, it's MA, DA, BA. A tells you it's in the center of the ship. If it's further away from the midship, it would be like a letter F. So a D would be halfway between aft and midship, or midship and fore. The last character tells you how many people are allowed in these berths. So for example, if you have somebody who's wanting a suite that holds 4 people, well, they can't be here in the S3 because it only holds 3. If you notice here, this S86, those are family suites, and the family suites have 2 cabins. This one can hold up to 6 guests, but on this ship, it can hold up to 8. That's what that third character is. This becomes very useful when you're looking for something to hold 4 and you're seeing a lot of W's. It limits you to where you can go. But in this particular voyage, this voyage right here, we have a lot of availability still left. It is June 1st. It's on the Royal. I can click on view and see the voyage itinerary. It tells me where they're having their scenic cruising, where they're stopping. Tells me down here they have 2 formal nights and they have 5 casual. But I can click back. I get back to where I was. I'm going to pick this Royal by putting my dot there, and I'm going to hit save and continue. At this point, the system is going to tell you what the best pricing is for this sailing. If you notice, it says promo N7P. You might be thinking, well, what is N7P? How do I know it's the best fare? How do I know this is what is best for my guest? What you would do is you can come down here and say fare comparison. When you hit fare comparison, it'll bring up a list of different promotions. Here's our N7P. That's the early booking sale, score for 24 with the Princess Plus. Okay, at this point, let's say my guest is torn between whether they want standard or plus. Not a problem. I can price it out both ways. I click on the N7. I'm allowed to click on 2 promos. Select 2 promos, then click and save. So I can do that. So at this point, I can click on that, hit save and continue. It's going to come up and tell you what each promotion is. So we know the N7P is with plus. It includes it for 1 and 2 guests. Also, N7S is for standard, and it's 100% refundable. At this point, I'm going to click that I've acknowledged that I have read what is included, and I'm going to hit save and continue. At this point, I have my pricing. I can then help the guests best determine for the price where they can be, where they want to be. Let's say for their example, they're asking, well, where's a BB? I don't know. Where's a BB? You can come up here to the deck plans and itinerary, and it will take you not only to the itinerary, but it's taking you to the deck plan. At this point, you can come up here, and I'm just going to pick Carib, and it shows you that there are BBs in this category. If you click on balcony, I'm going to open it up a little bit more. You can scroll down, and here are my BBs. If I click on C239, it tells me it is a BB. It's mid forward. It has a shower. and the cabin is 222 square feet. So I've now done that, and I'm back here to where I wanted to be. So if I click on BB, I can do it as standard at 1930 per person. I'm sorry, 1930 is the plus package, I'm sorry, and 1510 is standard. If the guest is listening to me, I would definitely recommend them to the plus. It's an outstanding value. They cannot go wrong because it does include their crew appreciation. It does include the medallion for one device. It includes 2 premium desserts, everything that was on the description. So at this point, we've selected this and we're going to hit save and continue. Now we get to our pricing detail screen. At this point, I can send an e-quote to the guest. The e-quote, all you do is you type in their email address. Sorry. And you can hit send. When they get it, it will not have commission information. It will just have the quote on it. You can print a friendly page to it, print one for you, print one for the guests. At this point, you can add air. To add air, all you have to do is click on Princess Easy Air. And of course, Princess Easy Air is going to give you the best fares, the best pricing, the shortest flights. It gives you a couple of options. So our top pick is up here with American, but I'm going to go with the lowest price and I'm going to select that. And I am going to come in and say select. Here are all the disclaimers that we want to make sure we've read, we understand. Select everything, hit continue. At this point now, it says everything's been done. I just need to refresh my screen to update it. So I'm going to refresh, continue. And now, where did it go? It should have updated. Computers are wonderful when they work. Continue. Oh, so normally the air would be there, and I apologize. Here's where we would make any changes. I always recommend the guests go with standard or platinum. I prefer platinum. You never know when a health emergency could arise, but I do recommend the platinum. And in this case, I'm going to go platinum. Transfers can be included or not. Again, Alaska, I highly recommend transfers, but I'm going to keep them there, submit changes, and there's my air. It finally popped in. So my air is now in there, my cruise fare, my port taxes, fees, and port expenses are here. My vacation protection is here. Let's say as we've been talking, I've convinced the guest to upgrade to Premier. I would click over here. And if you notice, here are our promo codes. I've convinced them to go from Plus to Premier, and it's New Plus to New Prem. So I can come over here and I can click on New Plus to New Prem, hit submit. It's now changed to my price and I'm up to 2070. If the guest changed their mind, not a problem, Mr. or Mrs. Guest. I can take it, remove it, and we're back down to the plus. At this point, if the guest did have any future cruise credits, this is where we would apply them, but there are no FCCs to apply, so we're going to skip this, but that's where you would go. If, on the other hand, as you're scrolling down, you want to know about payments, here is where the payment screen would be. The deposit is $250. It's due October 18th, 2023. Here's your net, and here's your gross. Final payment will be March 3rd, 2024, and here's your commission showing. And again, yes, the air finally did populate when I hit submit again. So there's the air. So at this point, we're going to hit save and continue. And again, if there are any important notices, it will be here. We need to make sure that we've noticed it and read it. Now, here's the fun part. We get to pick the cabins. I don't know whether any of you have ever had this happen. Sometimes guests would be like, I really want a connecting cabin, or I want a cabin that is on the port side. You can come over here and it tells you not only its mid forward port side, tells you the square footage, if it can have 2 twins or 1 queen. It also can tell you, if you click on that little question mark, it gives you a little bit more information. This is 2 berths. We cannot fit a rollaway in that bed. It's on the 11th deck. It tells you it comes with a refrigerator, safe, a TV, phone, dryer, tells you the cabin size again. Excuse me. Let's say, for example, we're looking at this and the guest doesn't like any of these cabins. If you want, you can come down here to cabin list and get even a wider range of cabins that are available. Sometimes guests have a particular floor, especially if they're traveling with people, they might want to be on the same floor as others. So you could scroll down that way. But let's just pick a cabin, M433. I'm going to hit save and continue. And again, you can come up here, click on the deck plan. I have already picked a room, M433. So I go up to Marina. I can go to 433 and say, okay, right there. Oh, they might not like that because it's so close to the elevators. Or maybe my guests have mobility problems and they'd love that cabin. You can change it at that point by, again, just coming back down. Actually, going back, I apologize. Going back and then changing your cabin. So we're going to hit save and continue, but it doesn't want that. So we're going to change and go to that cabin. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, so here we are at the create a booking. Now, at this point, we can update any information. Let's say the birth date is wrong. The guests have now had second opinion, second thoughts, and they want to go to the standard. Not a problem. We can change that. These guests have no middle names, so I'm going to have to check the box that they have no middle name. And down here, it's going to ask what kind of bed configuration do we want. So I'm going to put in queen bed. Over here, it's the auto upgrade. Most of us will ask, would your guest be interested in a complimentary upgrade if one does become available? We can say they are open to any upgrade. We can say that we only want them to be upgraded to the next type of stateroom. So for example, from a balcony to a mini suite, or no upgrade at all. If you're traveling with a group, you definitely want to probably make sure you check no upgrade. Otherwise, you're splitting up your group. When you check this, you have to be aware it is any upgrade. So for example, what we consider an upgrade, they may not. They may be moved more midship and closer to an elevator, and they may not want that. By the time you notify us and we try to go get their cabin back, their original cabin back, it may be gone. Okay, so use this one just understanding that any upgrade is truly any upgrade. Over here, you would mark this if they are traveling with a group. A group could be one other booking, for example, parents and child. It could be for a large group within a group. Just had one the other day where there was a party that was a birthday party celebration group that was on a larger group. So we twitted them together so everybody knows that these bookings are traveling with others. So it's a traveling with identifier. So we know that they maybe want to dine together, or maybe they want to embark or disembark together. Maybe they or on an excursion together. Just so we know that they are traveling with each other. And then you'd put in the contact number of the guest who we are going to use as a contact person. Now, at this point, I'm going to click Book Now. Now, we've run into this a couple of times. Don't worry, it has been booked. How do I know? Right now, I am going to get out of this, and I'm going back over here to my one source. If I come over here to book cruises, I can come to my manage booking. I can come over here to my booking list, which most of you know how to get to, but I'm going into 2024. Okay, and I'm going to look for my guest. Here they are, June 24th in B308 BB. They are booked. Here is my booking confirmation. And on this, it shows me everything that I had on that one sheet of paper over here in my time-saving tips in my flyer. Everything that you were seeing is right here. So at this point, does anyone have any questions? We've now gone over how to make a cruise, a booking. We've gone over how to do fare comparisons, how to include Princess Easy Air, how to print and send a quote, how to make a booking confirmation. The last thing is, though, how to make a payment. And that would be right down here. We would select credit card payment, a single booking. And at this point, here's where we would go. We would go into the amount that the guest would want to make. $250 is their deposit. We would say that they are not paying for their vacation protection at this point. Whose card, the type, whether it's a credit card or debit card. We'd enter the card information, expiration. If it was a gift card, we'd end up entering their PIN. And that would be what we would do to hit submit payment. So now we've gone over that. Any other questions?
Pam, we have somebody asking how they add special service items like a CPAP machine.
A question, and that actually can be done. Let me find it here. Special requests under here, special requests. And up here, you'll see a list of requests. And what we want to do is go to add special requests. Okay, and over here, CPAP machine would be in medical. Okay, so we click over here, click here for additional information. Okay, and you would go into here. So that's where you would go for that.
Just a quick note on that, Pam. We're actually working to get CPAP added to that section. So it's a great question. It's come up in some of our call listening. So when you go in to look right now, you may not see it there. I think it's 4139. But
Nope,
it is coming.
Not. You're right.
It's coming soon, guys. So I'm really glad you asked the question.
Thank you
when
for
it does, this is where you'll go to get it.
Any other questions? No? Well, thank you all for attending. We're just about out of time. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Jen, do you have something to say?
I just thought with our last couple minutes, we had a couple questions pop up in the chat we might try and cover.
Great.
If you book air, does the vacation protection policy cover airfare too? And the answer to that is yes. So thank you. That was why we recommend that you purchase that. Also, if you book air with Princess, remember you're going to get next port protection, which is a fantastic thing not to have to worry about if your flights don't go to plan.
I had one other thing I wanted to point out on the air.
Thank you, Karen Jean.
Can they hear me?
They can.
They should.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're making a booking like Pam just did and shopped for air, and you get it saved to the booking, and then you go, oops, there's a T in the last name instead of a C. You actually have to cancel what you saved, update the name, and then reshop. If you correct it with the error already saved, it's not going to correct the error, and the error will be booked under the wrong name.
That is very true.
Very good point. Legal names, and we got to make sure the spelling is correct, and particularly with air. What if someone other than the passenger is making a payment? You can handle that here as well.
Go back. Who's got the card? Their name. Put in that.
And Karen Jean's reminding us that it should be someone with the same last name or that's cross-referenced in traveling with the guest. Otherwise, we have a third-party authorization form that you can find in Princess Answers that needs to be completed just to make sure we handle that payment correctly.
Excellent question.
We got a couple questions on do we have information on the coding of the categories that Pam described? And Karen Jean did post the knowledge, the Princess Knowledge Base article. So if you can locate that up further in the chat. Great. Any other questions from our fantastic group of beginners here today? You guys don't sound like beginners. You sound like you got some time under your belt here. So we hope you guys enjoyed the training and hope that you come to an intermediate session, or once you practice your skills, which we encourage you to get in and really get your hands on this. We have the first intermediate session is recorded, and we'll do the same thing for the second intermediate session. And there's a really cool feature that we cover in those sessions called query mode. I almost feel like we should have done it in the beginner session, because it actually puts the booking into a mode where you can make changes to it and see what happens, and it doesn't change the booking in the real world. So if you're not confident or you're not sure about what's going to happen, and that happens to me all the time, like, oh, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when I cancel this person off, you can put the booking in query mode and you will see exactly what is going to happen before you make any real changes. So we cover that in our intermediate session, which you could watch in the video, and we'll cover it again in our next intermediate session. So we really appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you. If you have any feedback on the content, other sessions that you'd like to see, please share it. You can post it in the chat. Let your BDMs know. We developed this series for you. We appreciate you. And I'm so glad that Pam and I got to spend, and Sonia and Karen Jean all got to spend this time with you today. So happy selling, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Pam.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, everyone.